Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Para and today I want to talk to you about the Beardo copyright situation. I do have Kari hanging around, as you can see. So, not much of an intro today because I just want to get straight into it. So buckle up buttercups because I got receipts and the tea is hot. Go grab yours, I have mine, and I will see you over in a second. So I have my notes over here. On the 24th of November, 2025, obviously, Beardo put up a post saying, "Emergency live, as soon as I'm off the chat with YouTube legal, this could be the end." And then obviously he went live to explain what was happening. In this live stream, we learned that Beardo got hit with 1 strike from Spectral Paranormal and 2 strikes that we knew of at the time from Ghost Club Paranormal. And it may or may not have been a brigade started by Spectral against Beardo. During this 3-hour livestream, he shared his analytics to show that he had 3 out of 3 strikes active against his channel after being accused of drama baiting, clickbaiting, lying, essentially. Now, I didn't catch this livestream at the time. I watched it after the fact. None of that makes a difference, but I just felt like I should be transparent. The fans of Beardo, and even people within the paranormal community that either aren't fans of his or just don't agree with some of the things that he does, like me. I don't agree with everything Beardo does and some of his ideology, I guess, some of his decisions. I think he does a lot of good for charity. He does the No One Alone for Christmas thing. He does a lot of good. So this isn't a binary thinking he's either all bad or all good. People are grey, okay? People are not binary. We are complex human beings with conflicting ideals and beliefs and morals and all the rest of it. So I think pretty much every debunker I've seen speak on this has been like, I like Beardo, but I don't agree with all his decisions, which is fair. Beardo is a very controversial figure. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm sitting somewhere in that camp as well. But also in this live stream, we had teams that Beardo has called out, like Midwest Ghost Hunter, and there was another one I cannot remember, but they also came along and showed support, which I think when you're starting to get the fake channels showing up to show support, something big's happening. So this audience of the live stream, and probably some others, took en masse to X or Twitter to get eyes and the attention of YouTube onto this misuse of the copyright system, this malicious use of the copyright system, which is what it is. And the hashtag was Justice for Beardo. And I tried to see how many posts were under this hashtag, but unfortunately X doesn't have that function. And all the hashtag checker sites that I tried to use cost money, basically. But there was one that I found that tapped out on 200 mentions. So this hashtag has over 200 posts underneath it, which is insane. And that is just on X. That's not taking into account Facebook, YouTube, anywhere else. So how do I know that this was a malicious attack to silence debunkers, or at the very least Beardo? Well, from what I can tell, it's a 2-part story, so let's have a look at part 1. Over on Spectral Paranormal's channel, he posted this, and I did have to get this off of somebody's video because he's edited it, so that's why it's not as clear as the other images. Someone found out the hard way. Don't ever call a legit team fake. Now there's a strike on their channel. We will discuss this on our new show coming out soon, Paranormal Thoughts with Mark and Andrea. It did originally say Beardo, but it was edited to say someone. I did see it in both its forms, but obviously I can only get proof of what I can get. It has since been edited to say, "We decided to remove the copyright strike on Beardo. We did it 2 days ago. He is aware of this, so I don't know why he is carrying on for more sympathy, money. We could have moved forward, but unlike him, I was the bigger man." Sure. Okay. Whatever you think. Now let's see his true colours. We will discuss this on our new show coming out soon, Paranormal Thoughts with Mark and Andrea. I have a tinfoil hat moment. Everybody that I've seen talk about Spectral has thrown out the narcissist word. I don't like using that word, except where it is necessary, because I think it is the new buzzword for somebody acting like an arsehole. And narcissist is also a diagnosable condition, right? And also you can be a diagnosed narcissist and not be a piece of shit. So there's nuance there. But my mental health is my thing, so I wanted to highlight that. But my tinfoil hat moment is in both of these posts, Spectral has referenced his new show. So what if this was just some messed up version of marketing to him? You know, cause a big fuss, cause a big controversy, pick up enough attention by going after somebody. You know, I think Beardo is maybe the biggest debunker in like subscriber count. So ask him to look at your channel, knowing what he's going to say, act pissed off and copyright strike him for said channel. Hope that Beardo will react, because Beardo is quite reactive at times, and then garner the attention. Your new show. I'm not saying that is what happened, but I'm saying I can see the logical pattern in it. Worth thinking about. And I also want to take a moment to highlight this specific comment and reply from Spectral. Please reconsider the copyright strike. Beardo will lose everything. Would you really want that? Please reconsider. And then there were several irrelevant replies to this, but I wanted to highlight Spectral Paranormal's reply of saying, I do want Beardo to lose everything, which is disgusting and just shows what sort of person Spectral is. So, as I kind of half referenced a minute ago, from what I can tell, and while I can't find proof of this, I also can't find Spectral arguing the case or anybody else arguing the case, so I'm going to take it as true. Spectral asked Beardo to look at his channel. Beardo did, and Spectral didn't like it, so he copyright struck Beardo. And from there, he was apparently trying to organise a brigade to take Beardo's channel down. But as this was most likely something that would happen quietly and behind the scenes, I obviously can't find proof of that, so don't quote me as fact on that. I'm just sharing what I've heard. So as you've seen, Spectral chose to remove his copyright strike from Beardo's channel. I believe this one's on the 26th of November, and Beardo did put up a community post on YouTube around the time that this happened, saying, "Hey all, good news and bad news. Spectral Paranormal eventually took down his strike. He's doing a victory lap about it. I think I'm expected to thank him for removing a false copyright strike and 10 months of harassment. The bad news, apparently copyright strikes stack. So when his came off, this doesn't make sense. I immediately got slapped by a third by Ghost Club Paranormal, meaning my channel was sort of safe for a millisecond. I've had to start the appeal process from scratch, meaning I'm back to 7 days notification of termination, that I think for now is held while YouTube look into my counterclaim. There have been conversations behind the scenes with people trying to mediate, but direct contact to me is nothing. I have seen some pretty horrific comments on the other channels, and as angry as I am, comments like that need to stop. Please, it doesn't get anyone anywhere. If you want to show support, do it in the comment section of this channel, or on Twitter, and at Team YouTube. It's at least got their attention there. I've also got some other avenues to try that don't involve all-out war and slanging matches. So Spectral Paranormal is correct, he removed his strike, but he is incorrect that I'm milking this. He just couldn't leave well enough alone, he has to keep poking. But at the end of the day, he's done his worst and it's best to ignore. If there are updates, I will of course update the community when I have them. Office Rocker thinking I'm enjoying this. The reason I didn't engage with him after he removed the strike, I have nothing nice to say. I have nothing of value to add. It'll just be bad mouthing, and if I've learned anything this week, it's sometimes I need to shut the F up. So yes, that's about it. Nothing has changed other than I've gained a day of safety. Much love, Beardo out. So that's basically the summary of part 1 and what Spectral did or didn't do. So now we've covered part 1, let's go over to Ghost Club Paranormal for part 2. So from what I can tell with Ghost Club Paranormal, this stemmed back many years, to be honest. I came onto the scene with it around the time of the LA fires, where they decided to put roast in reference to Beardo in their live stream. I believe it was about the LA fires. They took the live stream down. I cannot check. I'm going purely off of my memory that has about 50,000 holes in it, like a sieve. So, pinch of salt. I do remember the roast comment though, and that it was not appropriate because of the LA fires. So they put up a community post 3-ish weeks ago from the time of recording. Community posts don't give exact dates, unfortunately, like videos do. But it says, the bearded man is back and has blocked me from commenting on his new video covering our recent investigation. So hopefully he sees it here. Hey Beardo, I think it's important to note that one of your friends, Kalani, filmed at the same church while dressed as Jim Jones and used Kool-Aid as a prop with the intention to piss off anything inside the church. It's called Hunting for the Demon Jim Jones, if you want to check it out. If the concern is respect towards the victims and the history, that should be addressed across the board, not selectively. No shade towards Kalani at all. I'm only mentioning this because the criticism seems to depend on whether someone is in your friend group. If they are, everything is suddenly fine. Edit, I'm not blocked anymore. So this is sort of the only post we have from Ghost Club Paranormal in regards to anything to do with Beardo. They don't mention copyright striking him on their own channel, and I only saw mentions of it from them in the Side Eye Guys livestream on the 28th of November. Ghost Club Paranormal claim they did not strike Beardo. They said that they copyright claimed him and then it evolved into a strike. Oh, and Beardo escalated it into a strike, which is not how that worked, but we'll get into it. So they said, other people should know that he had multiple opportunities to resolve the copyright claims before intentionally choosing to take us to court before his livestream, then proceeded to accept donations. There's a lot to unpack in that short message. Copyright claims don't work like that. And I think they're relying on the majority of the audience not knowing that. And then the second message that I saw them put, before the live he filed counterclaims, which automatically moves the situation into a legal process. So he made that public on his live. Okay, so editing para here. I just finished editing the video and realised I completely missed a section. So I want to go back to something Ghost Club Paranormal said. They said that Beardo chose to take them to court before his live stream. That's not how that works. So basically, to go to court, that you have to try the mediation that happens through the claims and the strikes through YouTube. And then if that doesn't work, then YouTube basically goes, not my problem. You two can figure it out amongst yourselves. And this decision is final. And if you want to change that decision, you have to go to court. And then it's up to one person to file and then sort all that out. And it's a whole thing. Beardo did say in his live stream that he wasn't going to do that because it was going to cost a lot of money that he doesn't have in order to do that, because it is cross-country court systems. It's very expensive. And also the person that files has to front the cost. So I'm more inclined to believe Beardo with that one because it is a substantial amount of money. I think it's about 10 grand to file, and then with lawyers and all the rest of it, it's going to be probably somewhere like 100 grand. It is not cheap. And then the other thing they said, before the live he filed counterclaims. I've just read this to you. I need to read it myself. Which automatically moves the situation into a legal process. Incorrect. As we can see, we are on the Google YouTube website, and if your copyrighted content is on YouTube without your permission, you can submit a copyright removal request, which is a legal process. So them even filing the claim, regardless of whether they filed a claim or a strike, them filing a claim or a strike is starting a legal process in YouTube's own words. Because you are basically saying, I am prepared to take this to court if we cannot mediate through the YouTube system. It also says, copyright exceptions. Consider whether fair use, public domain, or a similar copyright exception applies. You may be asked to confirm that you've made this consideration. Without a sufficient response, the copyright removal request may be invalid and won't take effect. Do not submit false information. Misuse of our processes, such as submitting fraudulent documentation, may result in the termination of your account or other legal consequences. And then the rest of this just talks about how to do it. That's not relevant. But yeah, it looks like Ghost Club Paranormal are enjoying throwing around big words that make themselves look better and make Beardo look worse, because they started the legal process. And just because Beardo decided to appeal their decision or YouTube's decision, and then that obviously escalated into a possible account termination. At that point, of course, he's going to do absolutely anything and everything he can to stop his account being deleted. You know, they hit him with 3+ strikes. They knew what they were doing. So yeah, that is just one thing that I hadn't clarified, that I felt like it was important to clarify. And again, with the whole court decision, you can't just be like, ha, yeah, I'm taking you to court, and then that whole process starts immediately. It doesn't work like that. I'm following another channel that has gone, not in the paranormal community, but another channel that has gone actually into court. They've been in it like a never-ending court case for like the past 2-3 years, something like that, because the guy that filed against them just won't give up. But it takes time. It's okay, the YouTube claim system has not worked. It has not given, you know, the party that wants to file the outcome they wanted. So at that point, they're like, right, okay, well, we're going to go to court then. We're going to argue this in court. And then at that point, you would be talking to lawyers. You would be, you know, trying to get the ball rolling. But that's not an immediate, right, we're going to court, I'm going to jump on a live stream now situation. That is right, we're going to court, I need to spend the next week getting my shit together. I don't remember when I said this in the video, but I do really feel like they are just throwing around big words, trying to use the average person's understandable ignorance about the copyright system and about how YouTube works. Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say. I'm going to let you go back to the para that knows what she's doing now. Beardo is claiming that it was a strike from the beginning. I don't know who's lying. One of them is, but ultimately I don't really think it matters. So, when you get a copyright claim, you lose a percentage of your monetization, and you get the option to dispute it. I have dealt with copyright claim disputes a lot over on my Sims channel for using copyright-free music that I am allowed to use and is appropriately credited, but for some reason I still get claimed, and then when I dispute that claim, it gets ignored. So, thanks, I guess. Good job it's not monetized. But you lose a percentage of your monetization and you get the option to dispute it. From there, you get 30 days to find out if your dispute is approved or denied. If the dispute is approved, then the claim goes away. And if your dispute is denied, then the claim stays and you continue to lose that percent of monetization. From here, you can appeal the decision, but if you do, you could end up with a copyright strike as seen on this notification, which I got from my own channel. I personally think that Ghost Club Paranormal are lying about the claims to try and save face. I don't know that for sure, but looking at it from a logical point of view, why would Beardo attempt to appeal all the claims at once, knowing that there was a risk of a strike? Because that would mean that he loses all his channels and he can't have a YouTube channel again. This is his livelihood. I know Beardo sometimes jumps before he thinks, but I don't think he's that stupid. Maybe he is, but I don't think he's that stupid. There is no timeline for disputing claims. I have months-old claims on my Sims account that I can still dispute and appeal at any time I feel like. There is no timeline on it. It also doesn't line up with his story of getting hit with the first Ghost Club strike, which was the second total strike, and attempting to private all his videos before he could get hit again and failing. I do acknowledge that this could just be a lie, as there's no proof of this version of events, but I could also say the same for Ghost Club Paranormal. There's no proof of their version of events. But as I said earlier, I really don't think it matters whether the strikes were strikes or whether the strikes were claims that turned into strikes. Either way, Ghost Club Paranormal either struck Beardo 3 times, as we come to find out. It was either 3 or 4. I can't find any proof of 4. It was definitely 3. We will get to that. So either Ghost Club Paranormal hit Beardo with a minimum of 3 strikes all in one go, knowing that they would take down his channel, or they denied Beardo's dispute and then appeal all in one go, knowing that would result in 3 strikes and would take down his channel. But either way, it's not looking particularly good for Ghost Club Paranormal. Either way, within 2 days, possibly partly because of the storm being kicked up over on X or Twitter, plus all the work going on behind the scenes that we don't really know about, which is fine, YouTube manually reviewed the copyright strike appeal and removed all the strikes Ghost Club Paranormal had given Beardo, leaving his channel in the safe and clear. And Beardo posted, "Hey all, huge news. I'm not gloating. I'm not doing victory laps. The last 48 hours have been up there with the most stressful times in my life. If this has taught me anything, it's how much this channel and how much of this community means to me. It's also taught me how much this channel and community means to you and all the other channels. The last 24 hours, I've seen Twitter, Facebook and YouTube flooded with Beardo profile badges. I've had creators that ordinarily don't like what I do show support. The absolute staggering amount of emails and inboxes and posts have been too much to keep up with. Then there are the behind the scenes guys that have been trying their best to sort this out amicably. You guys went above and beyond and I appreciate you wanting to remain anonymous, but it'll never be forgotten. To summarise, after hours and hours of speaking to YouTube bots and getting nowhere, the public outcry on social media and some people going above and beyond with YouTube contacts, YouTube have removed all strikes from my channel. YouTube have stepped in and made the channel safe. Now, this next bit is important. I ask all of you, please do not go gloating, shouting and attacking the channels that struck me. I'm not in trouble with YouTube anymore, so I don't have to say this, but I want to say this. We as a community are better than hateful, hurtful comments and jabs. I've held my tongue pretty well. Please do the same. If you want to make celebratory comments, please do them here, not there, and rub their noses in it. It may be tempting to play the one-upmanship game, but I honestly don't need any more drama right now. I can finally switch my brain off for a bit. Thank every one of you. And to those mocking me, wishing homelessness upon me, enjoying seeing me break, have a great day. I'm done shouting back at you. This channel and this community are far more important to me than personal beef and arguing with people that will never like me. I have the meet and greet in Cardiff, guys, or I'd have gone live to thank you all. So I'll go live tomorrow at some point. I don't think he did, but that's not important. That live won't be a victory lap or a no, I won live. It'll be thank you weirdos and the creators and behind the scenes guys that not only helped save my channel, but in some instances my sanity, because I genuinely think that's as close as I've ever come to having a mental breakdown. But it ain't about me and my hurty feelings. It's about the community and YouTube allowing me to continue on my journey of discovery and truth seeking. You all mean the absolute world to me. And then a picture of the no copyright strikes on your channel. The copyright system is there to protect the stealing of intellectual property, and reactionary content is protected under the fair use clause of copyright law. Using the copyright system as some kind of punishment or weapon against people who have a differing opinion, criticise, or even in some cases bully you is not okay. So now we've gone over the copyright stuff. Let's get back to the video and Ghost Club Paranormal's post. A month ago, Ghost Club Paranormal went to a church in Lynn, Indiana, which Jim Jones frequented in his younger years. I will say they did disclaimer their video, both in the actual video and in the description. However, that does not mean that the content of the video was appropriate. The Jonestown Massacre only happened in 1978. That was only 47 years ago. Loved ones of these victims are very much still alive. And because of this, I think it's highly inappropriate to play the death sermon tape from Jonestown. They also didn't only just play a little bit, they played the whole thing in their video. I'm not going to play it, but you could hear infants crying, children crying, people agreeing, and people arguing and disagreeing. You can hear them handing out the grape flavour aid. You can hear it fall silent. You hear everything, and it's incredibly upsetting for someone with zero stake in this monumental loss. I cannot imagine how it feels for a loved one, or even somebody from Indiana, as tragedies like this rock entire communities. I know that in this community, the question is often brought up on where the line on tragedy is, as we are very much dealing with death, loss and tragedy when seeking the paranormal. While thinking about it and also having input from other debunkers and people in the community, I think approximately 100 to 150 years This allows enough time for the immediate family to have passed away, and this maths is purely done on generational estimates, so there is nuance to that calculation. Something that stands out the most to me about Ghost Club Paranormal's post is the fact that there is no accountability at all. There's no acknowledgement that they did anything wrong. They have framed their post as if they are the victims of Beardo. And I'm sorry girls, but the only thing you're victim of is the consequences of your own actions. However, I do see your point about Beardo not looking at or criticising Kalani. I personally don't know how I would handle a situation or if one of my friends were faking or misinformed about the paranormal. My first point of call would probably be to try and educate them behind the scenes, and I don't know at what point I would ever step over into making a public video about them. But I also don't know if I could maintain a friendship with somebody who's either intentionally faking or being willfully ignorant. But Beardo is not me, and everyone is free to make their own choices. And we get to make our own choices in relation to everybody else's choices. That's just how being a mature adult works. I haven't watched enough to decide if Kalani is intentionally faking or simply misinformed, but he's been on my watch list for a while, so let's take a look. Kalani Ghost Hunter went to the Jim Jones Church in Lynn, Indiana 2 years ago, which would make it 45 years after the Jonestown Massacre. He also disclaimed his video just in the video and not in the description. In this video, he decided to dress up as Jim Jones, impersonate his voice, and give a sermon slamming Jim. He also brought with him a jug of, not poisoned, grape flavour aid to drink, in addition to attempting to anger the ghost of Jim Jones. While I don't think this behaviour is okay either, it is nothing on playing the death tape, and therefore should not be used as an excuse for playing said death tape. Two behaviours can very much be not okay, but on various degrees on the scale. It's not, well, he did it too, so it's not my fault. We're not 5. We're all supposed to be emotionally mature adults, and some of us are very much proving that we are children masquerading as adults. But I do agree with Ghost Club Paranormal that if the concern is respect towards the victims and the history, that should be addressed across the board and not selectively. Because of this, I did feel like it was important to look at both actions of the channels mentioned in this video. But in summary, what happened to Beardo shows exactly why debunkers are necessary, and why the copyright system must never be used as a weapon. Whether you agree with a debunker's tone or their other choices, criticism is not copyright theft. Honest critique is protected under fair use, and abusing copyright strikes to silence someone isn't just petty, it's dangerous for everybody who makes commentary content, and also for the channels filing those false strikes. When it comes to holding people accountable, it has to apply across the board. Debunkers should be consistent, and consistency doesn't always mean making a public video. Sometimes the right first step is a private conversation, especially when friendships are involved. And this is something that people keep failing to understand. Also, ignoring harmful behaviour just because it's inconvenient or too close to home only weakens the entire community. At the end of the day, whether we're talking about faked evidence, insensitive content, or misusing the YouTube's copyright tools, the standard should be the same for everyone. Respect the victims of real tragedies. Don't exploit trauma for clicks. Don't hide behind claims and strikes to dodge criticism. And don't expect debunkers to stay silent when something crosses the line. The copyright system is not a toy. Tragedy is not content, and accountability shouldn't be selective. Also, as like a final PSA, people were trying to set up a GoFundMe for Beardo go to court before we even knew what was happening. So, if any fake channel gets the fun idea to try and take a debunker down by misusing the law, firstly, you will not win. Secondly, it will cost you a butt ton of money. And thirdly, the community will back whoever it is. If we were all prepared to back a controversial debunker like Beardo, we will back anybody. But anyway, I'm serious para now. I hope that you are enjoying the start of the festive season, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Is that the right phrasing? I'm not sure. I at least hope this video was helpful. So if you liked maybe this video, give it a like, consider subscribing, consider watching another one of my videos. And if you would like more para for whatever reason, this is the other stuff that I do. But with that, I will leave you to the rest of your day now. I hope it's a good one, and I will see you next time. Bye!